Last week, n8n just released their natural language workflow builder, where you can now type what you want into plain English, and it is going to build the entire automation for you. There is no technical knowledge required at all. And honestly, it is proving exactly what I have been saying for months. If you are spending your evenings learning n8n, learning make.com, or any other automation platform, grinding through tutorials, trying to master the latest features, you need to just stop what you're doing right now and watch this entire video. Because here is what just happened. n8n just eliminated the technical barrier to entry. Now, anyone can build automations just by describing what they want, which means that the skill that you have been, trying to learn, it just became accessible to everybody. And over the next 6 months, every single platform, it is going to do the same exact thing. Make.com will have it. Zapier will have it. Some new platform that you have never heard of, it will probably have an even better version. And you can make the argument that these releases, they are not by any means perfect as of yet, but you can still see where this is all headed. So if technical automation skills are becoming commoditized in real time, what should you actually be learning instead? Well, in this video, I am going to be showing you the 3 skills that will make you more money than any automation knowledge ever could. And the best part about this is that you cannot replicate these, at least not yet. Now look, about a month ago, I made a video about this exact topic. I said that these technical skills, they were getting commoditized. The barrier to entry was collapsing, and that learning more tools was not the answer, and it's still not. And I did get some pushback. People said that I was exaggerating, that technical skills, they would always be valuable, that you still need to know the platforms. And you 100% do. You need to know the foundations. But it is releases like this that are just proving that to be true, and it is getting easier and easier, and you are not going to be looked at as a specialist so much anymore just for knowing how to build automations. So let me tell you what my team and I have been learning and what we actually teach our students inside of our community, and what is also making me more money than any technical skill ever has, because I have been running my own AI business for almost 2 years now. We have worked with companies across healthcare, logistics, law firms, restaurants. Here is what we have realized is that the people making actual real money in the space, they are not the best at automation tools. They are just the best at 3 specific skills that literally have nothing to do with technical knowledge. And if you master these 3 skills, you will be able to charge $10,000, $20,000, even $50,000 for these projects while everybody else is competing on price for these shitty basic automations. So here's the uncomfortable truth. Technology, it's no longer the moat. Now first, what is a moat? Well, it is basically the thing that protects your business. It's the thing that makes you valuable. So the barrier that actually keeps these competitors out. So for the last few years, technical knowledge, this was the moat. And if you knew how to build any automations or connect APIs or handle any webhooks, you were able to pretty much charge premium prices because most people, they could not do that. But n8n's natural language builder, on top of OpenAIs and anything else, they just showed you what is coming. That moat, it is literally disappearing right in front of you right now. And the technical barrier is pretty much gone. So what is the moat now, or what will it be? And that's business skills, the ability to actually understand how businesses actually work. The ability to identify expensive problems, the ability to sell solutions and generate demand for what you are actually offering. And these are the skills that AI just can't replicate, maybe not right now at least, but these are the skills that will make you irreplaceable. And specifically, there are going to be 3 that I would focus on if I were starting over today. And these skills, they will make you more valuable than any technical knowledge ever could. Now, let me just go ahead and break them down one by one. So skill number 1, this is going to be interpersonal and sales skills. So can you ask questions? Can you diagnose problems and actually demonstrate solutions in a compelling way? So why this actually matters is because as the technology gets easier, more people, they will solve problems themselves. And business owners, they will probably use n8n's natural language builder, or their assistants will. They will use ChatGPT to build their own workflows. Hell, they're going to be hiring people who are, it's going to be a requirement to know how to do that stuff. They'll watch a YouTube tutorial and implement it themselves. So why would they pay you? Well, they will pay you because you understand their business better than they actually do, because you can ask the right questions to uncover the problems that they did not even know that they had. And also because you can demonstrate that you are not just another person who knows how to use these tools. You're somebody who can actually improve their bottom line. And that is what matters. Because we at Reprise AI, our consulting company, we run through a discovery audit with these businesses to actually uncover their pain points. And it's taken a long time to get better at this process, to really determine what type of AI solutions that we will be building that will move the needle for these companies. So let me just go ahead and give you guys an example from a client that we worked with in the past. They were an HVAC company. They came to us saying that we need to automate our scheduling process. Now, most people, they would have said, great, let me go ahead and build you guys a scheduling automation or whatever you would normally do, and then charge them, let's say like $5,000. But we had spent about 45 minutes just asking basic and probing questions like, why do you need better scheduling? What is happening right now at this time that is just not working? How many jobs are your techs doing per day? How far are they driving between appointments? Are you turning down jobs because your techs just can't fit them in? And what we actually found out is that their techs, they were driving about 30 to 45 minutes between the jobs because the office was not routing them efficiently. So they were literally losing 2 to 3 appointments every single day because their techs could not fit them in. And the real problem, it wasn't really the scheduling automation. Their problem was just their route optimization. So they needed to see like where each tech was and assign these jobs based on location, not just availability. In the solution, at the end of the day, it was not really anything complicated. It was just a simple dashboard showing the tech locations and some basic rule system from job assignment. And the job impact from this though, they went from about 4 to 5 jobs per tech per day to about 6 to 7 jobs. And that is an extra 10 to 15 appointments per day. And at $300 per appointment, that's $3,000 to $4,500 per day in just additional revenue. And over a year, I mean, we're talking about over $1 million in additional revenue. And the technical skill that was actually required, it was almost none. It was 80% just understanding their business and 20% just implementing a simple solution. But that discovery, it did not require any technical skills. Well, I mean, it did to build the damn thing, but it required asking good questions and actually, listening to what they were saying, not just what they thought that they had needed. Because, what they think that they might need, it's not always the case because they do not fucking know. This is an interpersonal skill. This is sales. This is actually diagnosis. And this is what clients actually pay for. So you're probably asking like, how do you develop this skill? Well, here's a practical action plan that you can be following. Just pick an industry, just literally just one industry. It could be dental practices, law firms, HVAC companies, restaurants, whatever makes sense for you. And then just spend about 2 hours just researching the most common and expensive problems in that industry. So you can go on Reddit, watch YouTube videos of business owners complaining, join Facebook groups, do whatever the fuck it takes. You could read industry blogs, and then you could just create a list of about 10 to 15 discovery questions that help you uncover like which of these problems is a company actually dealing with. So for example, for let's say a dental practice, you can ask them to walk you through like just what happens when somebody calls to book an appointment until they're sitting in their chair. So how many appointments do you typically have to confirm the day before? Or what percentage of new patients actually show up for their appointment? Or one of my favorite ones, if you could just wave a magic wand and get back 10 hours per week, what would you stop doing immediately? And you see how these are not just technical questions, they are business questions. They are actually designed to uncover like where value is being lost within their business. And this research, it does take time, and you might not know which industries are going to actually be profitable or what problems are actually worth solving. But that is why inside of our 3-day AI challenge, we have already done this for you. We give you these specific niches, the pre-identified problems, and the exact offers that are currently working right now and generating revenue for people and our students. So you can just skip the guessing game and start with proven opportunities. So link is down below in the description if you want to join. It's not necessary to succeed. Just want to preface that. It's really just a way for us to actually help people, put them on the right track, give them community, make sure they're accountable, and start their business. But whether you do the research yourself or if you use pre-research opportunities, the key, it is literally in understanding the clients, pay for problem diagnosis and business understanding, not just technical skill. Now, skill number 2, this is demand generation. So can you take an idea and can you turn it into leads? Can you generate attention and interest for what you are offering? Now, here's why this skill is becoming the most valuable thing in this AI economy. And right now, you are realistically able to have a business idea and have a product built in, 24 hours later. AI, it will build your website. AI will create your automation workflows. AI will even write your marketing copy. And the only thing that will determine whether your business actually succeeds is whether you can generate demand for it. So can you be getting people to pay attention? Can you get them interested? Can you convert that interest into actual paying clients? Well, let me break down this practically because most people, to be honest, they just overthink this. So first, you just need one expensive problem to solve. And this is just where most people mess up. They try to do everything. So I will help with social media and email marketing and lead generation and dot, dot, dot. Stop. Just pick one problem that businesses currently pay $2,000 to $5,000 per month to solve. And if you do not know any, here's some examples of problems with real economics. So we can consider social media content management. What businesses currently pay is about $2,500 to $4,500 per month for a social media manager. And what is going to cost you with these AI tools? $200, no more than that per month. So ChatGPT, Canva, scheduling tools, it's cheap. And what you could charge is $1,000 to $1,800 per month. What your margin, it's about $800 to $1,600 per month per client. Another one is email marketing campaigns. So what businesses currently pay is about $3,500 to $5,500 per month for just an email marketing agency. And what it's going to cost you is around $250 per month just in these tools. So what you can charge, $1,800 to $2,800 per month. And your margin though, maybe $1,550 to $2,550 per client per month. We could also look at lead qualification and responses. So what businesses currently pay is about $3,200 to $6,500 per month just for SDRs or lead qualification services. Now, what it's going to cost you is around $350 per month in AI tools and infrastructure. Now, know that these are subject to change, but now what you can charge for this is anywhere from $1,000 to even a few $1,000s per month. Your margins, they're going to be very high. That is all you need to know. And there is more to name beyond these, but you can see how all of these, have 70 to 90% profit margins. And that is the power of having AI assisted services. So just pick one of these or find a similar problem in your industry. Just master it. Get really good at solving that one specific problem. And then from there, you can expand it. But now, secondly, the next step is to build your AI system. So once you have actually picked your specific problem, you just need to create a repeatable process that can consistently solve it. So this does not mean that it has to be perfect on day one. It just needs to work well enough to deliver real results. Here's what this actually looks like in practice. So you just need 3 components. The first component, this is just going to be your input process. So how are you gathering the information that you need to deliver? So let's say if you're doing social media content, this might be a brand questionnaire or access to their existing content or just understanding their target audience or their voice and their goals. So whatever information you need to actually solve the problem, figure out how you're going to be collecting it systematically. Now, number 2, this is your AI workflow. So what are these specific prompts, these specific tools, or these specific steps that produce the output that you were actually promising within your offer? And then for social media, maybe you're using ChatGPT to generate 30 post ideas just based on their industry, and then writing captions for each one. And then from there, using Canva to create all of the graphics, and then scheduling everything through a tool like Buffer or Hootsuite. Just make sure you document every single step. Make it repeatable. You want to be able to hand this to somebody else eventually, and then they could execute it. And then number 3, this is your quality control layer. So this is what is going to basically separate you from somebody who just copies and pastes ChatGPT outputs. So how are you reviewing their work? How are you ensuring that it matches their brand voice? How are you going to be checking that it is going to actually perform? So let's say for social media management, you might review all captions for consistency and then check the graphics for visual alignment, test different posting times, track engagement metrics, and just optimize based on what's actually working. And the critical thing here is that you're building the system before you even have paying clients. So you test it on your own content. You test it on a friend's business. You test it on a hypothetical scenario. You just want to actually make sure that it works before you start charging money for it. Now, most people, they do the opposite. They land a client, and I don't blame them for this at all. They land a client, they panic, and then try to figure out how to deliver. And that's completely backwards. Build your system first, prove to yourself that it actually works, and then you can consistently, or at least confidently, you can sell knowing that it actually delivers these results. And then step 3 is just finding your first client. So this is where most people completely freeze up. They have picked a problem, they've built a system that works, and then they just have no idea how to get somebody to actually pay for it. So let me just give you 3 fastest ways to land your first paying client. And I'm listing these in order of speed and conversion rate. So method 1, this is just going to be your existing network. So please list out everybody that you know who owns a business or works at a company that has the problem that you are trying to solve for. Reach out to them with a specific offer and just don't be very vague. Do not say like, hey, I'm starting a business. Can you help me out? You have to do more than that. That's very weak. It's shitty, and nobody's going to respond to that unless they're your best friend. Instead, you want to say something like, I noticed that you are probably spending 10 plus hours a week managing your social media manually. I can completely take that off your plate for the next 30 days for just $500 to prove that it works. Want me to send over what that would look like for you? Or even offering to do it for free, because at the beginning, you have to be willing to do things for free or at a very low cost to make sure that you're actually getting clients. And at the very end, just ask to send over what that'll actually look like for them. So you're being specific. You're making it low risk. You're really just focused on the outcome, not on the fact that you are using AI or you're just starting your business and you need some help. And method number 2 is local businesses in your area. So this one in particularly, it is going to work, especially if you have a huge network to tap into. So walk into or just cold call 20 local businesses every single day. So think of med spas, restaurants, law offices, or whatever aligns with the problem that you're trying to solve. Offer to audit their current situation for free. Look at their social media presence, their email marketing, their lead response time, and whatever one you're going to be fixing at the end of the day. And then from there, you could just position your solution as the answer to what you have found broken. So you're not pitching like, I use AI tools. That's retarded. You're saying like, I can fix it. Here's exactly what we would do. And here's how much it would cost you. Now, method number 3, this is LinkedIn outreach. So just finding business owners in your target industry, just using the LinkedIn search or even Sales Navigator. It's like $80 a month. From there, send them personalized messages that actually offer specific value up front. So what you should not do is be sending some shitty garbage, something that's very generic with your message. So saying like, hey, I can help you with marketing. That gets deleted instantly or just like skipped. Nobody's going to care about that. Maybe if you send 1,000 messages, but it's not going to have a good conversion rate. So instead, like you could just be saying something like, hey, I noticed your LinkedIn, you hadn't posted in about 2 months and you're in an industry where thought leadership, it directly drives inbound leads. I can actually create 4 weeks of high quality content for you this week. Want to see what that looks like. And you see the difference there. One is generic spam. One shows that you actually did your research and you're offering something very tangible and very specific. And the key across all 3 of these methods is the same thing. Lead with business outcome and the value, not with your tools or your process or your story. Business owners, they do not care that you use n8n's. They do not care that you use Claude. They just care about getting more appointments, more leads, more revenue, just increasing their bottom line or getting their time back. That is what you're selling. And the AI is literally just how you deliver it. Okay, so step number 4. This is to deliver results and build your flywheel. So your first few clients, listen up. They are going to be the most important clients you will ever have because they determine whether this whole thing actually works out for you. So you just need to over deliver massively. If you promise them 30 social media posts, give them 35 and just throw in some story templates. Or if you promised faster lead response times, beat your own timeline. Or if you promise faster lead response, well, then beat your own timeline by a mile. Get them results that are way better than they expected. And then immediately ask for 2 things. 1, you need to be asking for a testimonial and a referral. So just get them to just write down what result you actually delivered and how it impacted their business. And then you could be asking like who else that they know who has the same problem. And here is where the magic is going to happen for you. Your demand generation, it gets exponentially easier because you have proof. Your content can now reference real client results, and your outreach, it can include actual case studies. And your conversations, they start with, okay, well, here's what we did for this dental practice. They went from X to Y. Do you want me to do the same thing for you? So this naturally, it will be creating what I call the demand generation flywheel, where you can actually create content that attracts attention. And that content, it naturally just pivots and leads to outreach conversations. And those conversations, they, luckily for you, they lead to clients. Those clients, they produce results. So as results, they become testimonials. Those testimonials, they make your content so much stronger. And that stronger content makes your outreach easier. And the whole thing, it just accelerates from there. So hence the flywheel. So at 5 clients paying $1,500 per month, you're going to be at like $7,500 per month in revenue. At 10 clients, I mean, you could damn well be at $15,000 per month with 70 to 80% margins just because your costs are mostly AI tools. And that is just going to be about $10,000 per month in profit for you. And none of this, it requires you to be the best technical person in the world. At the end of the day, it is just going to require you to be good at picking valuable problems and building reliable systems and just consistently getting clients to actually say yes. Now, if you guys want to learn the exact frameworks for demand generation, all of the content strategies that we use, all of the outreach templates that actually get responses, the case study structures that actually close deals, it is all inside of our mentorship, which will be released in the coming weeks. But for the time being, you can be joining our 3-day AI challenge, which will put you on the right track and ensure that you actually have the right foundations understood. And it's something that I have created and spent a lot of time creating that would have specifically helped me 2 years ago, just starting out. We break down exactly how to generate leads and how to book calls week after week consistently. So link is down below in the description if you're interested. But lastly, skill number 3 is systems thinking. So can you actually engineer a complete system to solve problems? And I do not mean just n8n workflows. I mean, can you actually think through a business problem from start to finish and map out all the variables and sort the process by who solves each part, whether that's going to be an agent or the business owner, or maybe it's going to be an employee. And this is where the real value lies, because most people, I mean, nowadays they can build a workflow, but very few people, they can design a complete system that actually works in the messy reality of a real business. So let me just give you a really quick example. I worked with a law firm recently that wanted to automate their lead follow-up. So they thought that they needed an AI system that would just call these leads automatically. So any normal person, they would have just built and charged them whatever cost it would be. But systems thinking means asking, like, what are the actual systems that we're trying to improve? So we mapped out, as we usually do with our longer term engagements with clients and these companies, we mapped out their entire operation, also their entire lead to client process. So we found that when a lead submits a form, the lead is then going to go into the CRM. The attorney is going to be getting notified, and then the attorney just calls them sometimes 2 hours later, sometimes it can be 2 days later, or they just forget. And then the consultation gets scheduled if they're lucky. So when I had mapped this out, step 4 was obviously very broken. Attorneys, they were taking 48 hours to call back. And then by then, like most leads, they had hired somebody else or just not needed the help anymore. So the solution, it wasn't just to automate the call. It was designing a complete system. So immediate automated text to the lead, instant Slack notifications to call the attorney with context. And if there's no response in about 30 minutes, escalate this to a managing partner. And then from there, track response time and the conversion by attorney and weekly performance reviews to optimize. And that is a complete system involving AI, automation, humans, accountability, and continuous improvements as well. And that is what clients are going to be paying real money for, because AI can build individual workflows, but it, at the end of the day, cannot design complete business systems for all of these humans exceptions. And even these edge cases, you can, maybe in the near future that they can, but right now it's just you. So before we commit to building anything at our company at all, we just go through what we call an exploration phase with our clients. So this is essentially right after the discovery audit, if we do one of those, and when we have identified like what needs to be built. So this exploration is where we validate the technical feasibility and we test like the most complex integrations with proof of concepts, confirm our ROI assumptions with some small scale testing, and just make sure that we can actually deliver like what we're actually promising. So we typically charge anywhere from like $5,000 and $7,000 for this phase. And it of course gets credited towards the final implementations if we actually move forward with that. And this just prevents us from getting halfway into a project and discovering something that is not technically feasible or technically possible, because that happens within this space. It just eliminates any scope creep because we have already tested everything. And honestly, it has saved us from taking on projects that looked really good on paper and exciting, but they would just not work in reality. So exploration, it's just how we go from theory to certainty before we can actually start building. And that is the type of thinking and approach that you can use to go from somebody with zero specialized skills to somebody who can solve business problems and scale the fuck out of a business. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this, if you found value in this, please drop a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.